In a city scented with jasmine, an aging emperor worried less about heirs than about honesty. He had no child of his own, and little trust for flattery. "Let the next ruler be someone who can tend life," he said, "and value truth more than praise." Heralds summoned the children at spring's first light. At the palace gate, the emperor placed a small packet in each open palm. "A single seed," he said. "Care for it one season. Bring me what you have grown on the last day of summer." Among them was Ping, a boy whose windowsill was a forest of pots and whose pockets held pods and pebbles like treasure. At home, he sifted rich soil with his mother, planted the seed, and watered until the surface shone. The first day he waited. The next, he turned the pot gently toward the light. The third, he sang under his breath while steam from the rice pot fogged the glass. A week later, small greens punched through neighbors' pots, curled fists opening. Ping's soil stayed dark and smooth. He loosened it for air, set the pot in soft morning sun, tried a larger vessel, fresh earth, cooler water. He scrubbed the pot in case some trace had harmed the seed. He did everything he knew and a little more. Nothing stirred. Summer filled the lanes with color. Children paraded past with trumpet lilies and peonies heavy as pillows, vines braided around stakes, blossoms bright as lanterns. Parents nodded proudly from doorways. Ping leaned over his pot each dusk and felt tears start. "I have failed the seed," he told his mother. "You have not failed," she said. "You have tended faithfully. If the seed will not wake, bring the truth." On the appointed day, the palace courtyard swelled with perfume and chatter. Drums rolled softly. The emperor walked the long line of children and their miracles, his face unreadable. Ministers murmured approval as petals trembled in the heat. Ping held his plain pot like it might break and save him the shame. When the emperor reached him, he stopped. "Child," he asked, "what did you grow?" Ping steadied his voice. "Nothing, Your Majesty. I tried fresh soil and careful water. The seed did not sprout, so I brought what is true." The emperor's eyes warmed. He turned to his court. "Do you smell the flowers?" he asked. "Do you smell the truth?" Then to the crowd, "The seeds I gave were boiled. They could not sprout." He lifted his arm to the bright ranks. "These blossoms are skillful, but not from my seeds." A whisper ran around the square like wind through bamboo. He raised Ping's pot so all could see. Plain clay, dark earth, bare of green. "This," he said, "is the only honest harvest." He set the pot back into Ping's hands and placed over the boy's shoulders a sash the color of first leaves. A kingdom thrives when its keeper chooses truth over display. The children looked down at flowers that had seemed so certain and saw, maybe for the first time, how beauty can be borrowed and how quickly borrowed things fade. Ping's cheeks burned, then cooled into relief. In the seasons that followed, the city kept planting, as people do, but windowsills made a little space for honest soil. When Ping walked the gardens with the emperor, he learned to ask not only how high a tree stood, but how deep its roots went. Some stories end with a throne. This one ends with a measure you can hold in your hands. If you must choose, let your success look small and be real, rather than look grand and be false. Flowers fade. Truth feeds the next season.